As many people in the state of Minnesota might be aware, the state's budget situation is once again in negative territory. We're facing a $1.1 billion budget shortfall, and if you want to include the continued money that's been shifted from K through 12 education to help us meet our bills and obligations, it's closer to $2 billion. A far cry from the $6+ billion deficit this state was facing 2 years ago, but yet still a big deficit. And last week, Governor Mark Dayton finally presented his budget proposal for what he would like to see happen in fiscal year 2014 and 2015 when it comes to the budget. Governor Dayton is proposing increasing the state spending by almost $2 billion, up to $38 billion, which would be the biggest biennial budget ever in the state of Minnesota. But as we know, everything gets more and more expensive, and maybe that's not really the big headline. But some of the big highlights from the budget proposal might sound extremely positive to start, such as tax cuts, a cut in the state sales tax from 6.875%, what currently is now the 7th largest sales tax in the nation, down to 5.5%, which would put us at about the 27th slot for sales tax. Sounds good off the face of it, right? But it would be expanded to a lot more things. Some of those things are really going to affect you and I. There's also a 2% tax increase on the top 2% of wage earners in the state of Minnesota in this proposal. Those couples making $250,000 or more, or individuals making $150,000 or more. Their tax increase would go from 7.85% as it is today to 9.85%. Also, a lot more money would be funneled into education. $240 more million for higher ed, $118 more for K through 12 education, $44 million for early childhood development, $40 million for all-day, everyday kindergarten. Also, there'd be some reforms on the tax code, which hopefully would save the government billions. So where would, one more too, corporate tax rate would be reduced by 1.4%. But here's the kicker. In order to help pay for all this extra spending and all these tax breaks, including a $500 tax break for homeowners, every homeowner, taxes would be spread over more things. Even though your sales tax rate would be lower, here's some of the things Governor Dayton thinks you and I should pay taxes on. Any clothing item over $100 would be taxed under Governor Dayton's proposal. Any admission or membership to any club, organization would now be taxed, such as your membership to the DLCCC. Any over-the-counter drugs would now be taxed with the sales tax. Personal care services and instructions would be taxed, such as if you hire a trainer, maybe somebody to stay at home and take care of an elderly relative. Legal and accounting services would be taxed. Auto services and other repairs. Now you'd be taxed on paying your mechanic, not just the parts he needs. For businesses, they would tax legal services, accounting, architecture, specialized designs, computer management, consulting, advertising, employment services, and business support services. These taxes together would create over $4 billion in additional revenue for the state of Minnesota. So Governor Dayton's budget may be balanced, but after spreading out the tax base, could it be too much on the backs of average Minnesotans? That's the question you and I got to ask as we get ready and the state discusses this. How much of these taxes will we end up paying? What can get cut? And can we keep a balanced budget in the process?